Hello everyone, the famous legacy. I'm back and just basically in this video I'll be giving you guys my opinion on the overview of the movie industry right now with my movie synopsis. Basically this is going to be just an overview of where I think the movie industry is at right now currently and where I think things are going in the future. Um, yeah, I probably won't be doing that many movie videos just because there are frankly too many bad movies coming out. The movie industry basically sucks right now, and I'm just gonna give you a couple of reasons why I think that is. And yeah, so let's just give you a quick overview of I'll basically be talking about this. So I mean, just to give you my opinion about everything, I think the quality of movies has been going down for a while now, a couple of decades actually, and there's a couple of reasons why I think that is, but um, I would just want to do a video on this because I feel like it's worth it just because of what's been going on. Um, Obviously, the pandemic had a lot to do with the box office numbers, as a lot of movies have gone to streaming. But more importantly, I just want to talk about the quality of movies that has been coming out, not just recently, the past couple of years, but for a while now. And so, just to get started with things, to get the ball rolling. So here's a quick rundown of some ratings of some movies that are currently out at the box office as of the first week of August 2021. And as you can see, I mean, you look at the ratings here with these movies, and it's just 5.4, 5.9, 5.3. Black Widow 6.9, Space Jam in the 4s, Snake Eyes 5.7, Old 6, and Jungle Cruise 6.7. I mean, just looking at these movies at face value, Purge is a sequel, Boss Baby is a sequel, F9 is a series, that's the ninth one of that. Black Widow is a. So Black Widow is a Marvel Studios movie, obviously. They've been doing a lot of extended universe movies, and I guess this is one of them. And you know, I feel like anything comic book related, the movie's basically gonna take over the box office and be the most popular movies. So there's no surprise that this has the highest rating of any movie in the box office right now. Although the Suicide Squad just came out and that got pretty receptive reviews as well. But see, I'll be talking a little bit more about that. But it's easy to make the Marvel or any other DC universe to keep making movies because they can just keep going down the line with each character and basically infinite number of ideas they can get from that, which is good for them, I guess. But for the bottom line of movie quality, it doesn't really solve the issue that we're having. Space Jam, obvious sequel. Snake Eyes is a sort of origins movie of G.I. Joe. Old is another sort of sci-fi horror type movie, and Jungle Cruise, of course, is Disney with that one. But really, I don't really see that many movies in theater anymore just because I'm worried about wasting my money for a very lackluster movie. I mean, for example, I originally wanted to see Snake Eyes, a movie, just because I'm into those um, sort of martial arts type fighting movies. I really love that kind, but guys, I mean, why waste your money? Ticket prices are up around $15 to $20 now, depending on where you go, but I highly suggest, if anyone wants to go see a movie, to first go ahead and read reviews about the movie, just to get an overall idea of how good it is and what people think. I usually go to IMDb, just because you can read user reviews about people who've already gone to see the movie in theaters and what they think of it. Um, and that's what I did with Snake Eyes. I mean, obnoxiously bad and shallow, mediocre, horrible, horribly filmed. 5 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. You can just go down the line. You can see that the overall reception of this movie is pretty bad. Bad to mediocre. You get people that will just give the movie a 10 out of 10 for whatever reason, but the more reviews you read, the more indication you get that the movie's isn't worth spending that kind of money in a theater. It's just not. So I usually go here to get an overall feeling of how good the movie is. Let's see here. Then you can go to ratings and go to user ratings. You could get an overall demographic here. It sort of splits it up within gender and age. I don't know. This is sort of, just gives you a basic overview of the age group that's interested in the movie. It'll filter it by reviews here. What I like to do though, so they go by a 1 to 10 rating, which is cool. I use that same rating system when I'm reviewing movies as well, but what I like to do is eliminate the 1-star and the 10-star reviews, because those are very biased reviews originally, and they don't really, when you read the 1-star and 10-star reviews, they're very biased, but they don't give very much insight on why they give it that kind of rating. They just have overall feelings to give it either a bomb review or a perfect score, which should be very rare when you're reviewing a movie. But I mean, 10.7 and 7. I mean, so what I like to do is just get rid of these reviews and just focus on the 9 through 2. And so you can see the majority of scores fall in the middle here, around 7, 6, and 5. So that can give you a pretty much good overall feeling of how good the movie is. Most people giving it sort of a mediocre rating. So that right there should tell you it's not worth seeing in theaters. And you can see that reflected down here. Most of the scores averaging in the 5s and 6s. Obviously, the younger crowd likes it more because it's more of that type of movie where they'll be more easily amused by it. But even beyond Snake Eyes, though, you can go beyond that and just see that the overall reflection is these very mediocre movies that are coming out. I feel like the movie industry is just a rolling out these movies one after another and not really caring about the quality of them. They just have an agenda to fulfill a certain amount of movies. Um, they have a budget and they just want to fill the quota for the amount of movies they make in certain kind of areas, whether it be Marvel universe or the DC universe, or depending on the movie studio. So they're not really um, they don't really take into consideration how good the movie is anymore. That's just how it is and where we're at right now. Um, but and I owe a lot to that. There was sort of a cultural change back in 2001 with 9/11, where I just feel like that was, if you went back into a period of time where I think the movie industry changed from quality to more of quantity and special effects. I go back to this time period in 2001 around 9/11 where that's where it started. And you can come up with your own reasons why that led to the change, but um, obviously more recently and over the past couple of decades, the comic book movies and anything with a lot of CGI, I feel like the movie industry sacrificed good storylines and a really good plot, and they replaced it with CGI and just a visual spectacle in place of a good storyline and all that. And I think there's a lot of contributing factors to that. And I think a lot has to do with this. Um, you know, just basically better operating systems and better movie editing, things like that. You look at all the software available in all of these studios; they can do whatever they want with CGI now. So I think they just rely on that now, and they, I think they've overlooked what really makes a quality movie, which is the storyline. And yeah, I sort of went over the same kind of thing with the music industry, where um, they sort of replaced real instruments in music bands now with more of soundboards and DJing, just DJs in general, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you can make a song now without even touching an instrument and make it sound like a real life band. And I think they're doing that now with movies with the same type of deal with CGI. So that's a big reason why. But I think a lot of this started with the SpiderMan movie of 2002, and if you went back to one movie that really was the catalyst for this whole comic book, DC and Marvel universe reign over the box office over the past couple of decades, you can bring it back to this movie. Um, the first film to reach $100 million in a single weekend, as well as the most successful film based on a comic book at the time. So this was back in 2002, and this movie absolutely destroyed expectations. And for those of you who've seen the movie, it is a very good quality movie. I'll give it that. Um, but of course, I think people lose appeal of the movie though if they don't like the original movie. Chances are they're not going to see any of the sequels, um, which is why I think people are either polarized to these type of movies or they're not. If you don't like the original, you're not going to see any of the sequels. So I think if you're the movie industry looking at that, you're going to say, well, as long as people are going to see the movie, then we will go ahead and greenlight sequels to that movie and any kind of spin-offs associated with that movie. So I think that's why you're seeing so many sequels being made. Um, as long as people are going to see it and spend money, then they're going to keep making these movies. And, I don't think and they get sort of a following. I don't know if you really call it a cult following, but just a general fan base where if the original movie does good, then they're gonna assume that the sequels are gonna do good. Which with Spider-Man 2 and 3, they did well. They did pretty well at the box office, but the quality wasn't as good either. Just to give an example. I guess the Spider-Mans weren't that bad, but I guess that's not a really good example of sequels going downhill, but okay, so I mean when you go to Spider-Man 2 to Spider-Man 3, you can see 6.2 compared to 7.3 for Spider-Man 2, and I think the original got a 7.3 as well. Yes, it did. So but my point was going back to the Spider-Man movie. That's when I think um, the whole cultural shift was changing around that time, and when you see a movie that doing that successful, it just opened the door to so many different comic book movies that the studios have done since that. And furthermore, just going off what I said, you can do your own research if you don't believe me. I was going to go through a couple examples for you. I think a lot of the reason, though, is in today's movie industry market, a lot of it is oversaturation. Like, there's so many movies coming out now from so many different studios. I mean, you have the regular movie studios, then now you have Netflix, Amazon Studio, you have Apple now making movies, and it's hard for any one movie to stand out anymore just because there's so many different movies coming out. But usually I like to go to Box Office Mojo, it's called. It's under the same umbrella as IMDb, but you can get a basic rundown of what's of just the box office numbers. So this was as of August 1st, and you can see by the distributing music industry or movie movie industry here, the movie producer. The last movie I saw in theater, and the only movie I saw in theaters this year, was A Quiet Place 2, and it was decent. If you liked the first one, you'd like the second one. I think it was pretty much the same quality type movie. That's done very well. Now up to 160 million, but so you can go by year here and see the overall number one release. And you can see starting with, so SpiderMan was here in 2002, and you can see, just to give you an example of why I think that movie changed everything. Every other movie you can see before that was random movies. I mean, you had the Batmans, obviously, that done very well. I think that was the original, like, really good superhero type movie. of the modern era. Obviously, the Superman's done well too, but that was sort of back in the 70s and 80s. But I think that was a big turning point as well because you had future Batmans doing very well. But really, Spider-Man is the one that utilized that CGI to the next level. And after that one in 2002, you see a lot of other movies sort of piggybacking on that CGI success that they had. Obviously, with the Star Wars, it done really well too. Um, but I mean, I have my own opinions about Star Wars. I think the um, the second batch of sequels were terrible in my opinion. Um, but then you see, so Spider-Man 3, you see the Dark Knight, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, they'll keep producing these movies because they keep making money. But they pretty much dominated the box office for the past 20 years. And before that Spider-Man movie, you see a good variety of movies here. I mean, there's very select few that were any kind of superhero related. You had the Batmans and the Supermans, and every other movie was, a good variety of different kinds of movies. But now look, you have Black Widow, Avengers, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man 3, Avengers. The good majority of them are, related to superhero or comic book now. So I guess if you like that kind of movie, you're going to keep seeing those type of movies, and that's what the movie industry is banking on. So what else would I go over here? So yeah, so that's a little bit on the history, and so I wanted to just go over what's coming out in the future with you guys as well. So I guess I'll head and go do that. If you guys aren't familiar with Movie Insider, they'll give you a rundown by the studio and what movies are coming out according to that studio here, which is really nice. So obviously you have the Suicide Squad coming out as the next one, releasing today in 2021, but so you can go by year here. So let's go run down this and see what we have coming out. I mean, obviously I hope they're not like this, 5s and 6s, just terrible quality movies. They're not getting any money from me. I'm not spending any kind of money to see shit quality movies. So, other people, I've read a lot of reviews of people regretting going to see movies in theaters. So, when you go and read reviews, you don't have to read spoilers. You just need to see the score to get a general overview of whether a movie's good or not. So that's what I do. But so you have Don't Breathe 2 coming out here. Interesting. So another remake here of Candyman. Remember what I said about sequels and remakes? The movie industry has completely run out of ideas. I'm sorry. It irritates me so much that no one can come out with original idea anymore. Even making a movie out of an older book or some kind of story is a good way to start. But so Candyman is obviously a remake. Now this is something I'm sure there's been documentaries of the Beatles before, but at least it's something different coming out in theater, which I think is nice. So going to September. See what we got coming out in September this year. Venom, obvious remake there. That's going off the sort of the whole CGI comic book thing there. I'm just not in those movies. They just seem so superficial to me. It's hard for me to get emotionally invested in that movie, and a lot of storylines is sort of. I feel like they're written overnight, and they're just not that good. Like I don't even know what else to say about them. People can come up with their own opinion about them, obviously, but that's my overall feeling of those type of movies. All right, so Halloween's coming up in October, so obviously you have a lot of horror movies coming out. Jeepers Creepers remake, or not remake, that's the sequel. Hotel Transylvania sequel. Addams Family 2 sequel, both animated. That's another. A lot of animated movies have really done really well at the box office. There's a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, the younger crowd is going to see those, but Halloween Kills. I think that's supposed to be the last one of that whole Halloween. The last chapter in the Halloween series, I think it is. Oh, No Time to Die. That's the 007 James Bond. I'm not a very big fan of Daniel Craig as 007, so I'm not sure if I'm going to see that in theaters or not. That's a wait and see about the reviews movie right there. I got screwed over on a previous 007 movie that I saw with Daniel Craig that I saw in theaters that I was not very happy about. So I'm not going to be screwed over again by seeing another shitty movie with him in it. So that should do very well at the box office. Dune is getting heavily advertised. I think that'll do really well at the box office. Jackass Forever. I think that's the last chapter in that series as well. You have the Ghostbusters, which is a reboot. Top Gun Maverick. That's a sequel to the original Top Gun. That one I'm looking forward to. I think that one might be decent. I have my own watch. That's another cool thing about IMDb is you can make set up your own watch list. So here you go. I have Top Gun and 007 as a couple of my upcoming movies to see. There's another Resident Evil coming out too. There we go. We were just talking about SpiderMan. Another sequel to Spider-Man. I feel like they're just going to keep making those. Matrix 4, that one should be interesting. That's on my watch list. So let's see how that does. Yeah, that's it for 2001. Let's go ahead to 2020. 2022, like... Alright, here we are. Scream. They're remaking Scream. That should be interesting. I'm a very big fan of the original. And that movie's coming out in January? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Whatever. Um, Deep water, what is that? Okay, it seems like it's sort of like a drama type movie. That's what it sounds like. Morbius, interesting. I'm just looking for movies that I think I would be interested in. Dr. Morbius, okay. Jared Leto. We'll see. That might be good. So moving on to February 2022. Actually, should I add Morbius to my... I'll wait and see. They're making an Uncharted movie. The video game series has done extremely well, so I'm guessing that this will as well. Oh, Morbius also has Michael Keaton in it. I'll add to my watch list. Uncharted. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really nervous about Uncharted. I feel like that can do really well or really bad. Okay, that has Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland in it. Interesting. Antonio Banderas is in as well. Okay, I'll add that one. March 2022, my birth month. The Batman. We'll see. You know, I like the Batman movie, so that's one superhero type movie that I do like is the Batmans. Doctor Strange. Legally Blonde, yes. Mission Impossible. I feel like I had that added to my watch list. Yep. John Wick. Like, I'm surprised how far they've been taking John Wick. I mean, they're all decent, but I don't know about making a fourth one. Like, I don't know. Mission Impossible 7. Jurassic World. So that Jurassic Park, it was one series where I've seen every single movie in the theater. Which I think Jurassic Park might be the only movie series that I've done that. The original Jurassic Park, Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and I saw the last one, which I didn't like the last one very much, though. Fallen Kingdom, I think it was. Now you have the Dominion movie. So I'm going to wait to see about this one before I decide if I want to see it in theaters or not. Even though I've seen every one in the theaters. So that's sort of my... that's sort of been my routine with Jurassic Park, but we'll wait and see for that one. Black Panther's coming out in July of next year. That one should do very well at the box office. They're coming out with another Indiana Jones. Interesting. Why don't they come up with something original for a change? It's a lot. I feel like they've gotten really lazy. For them to come up with a new idea is like otherworldly to them, so it's a lot easier for them just to keep making sequels and reboots. It's shocking. It really is. Nothing surprised me anymore, but Beast. What the hell is Beast? I don't even know. Interesting. Hunted by a Lion. If you guys haven't seen the movie Prey, which I think was... give you a little bonus here and a recommendation. Here you go. If you guys want... oh, right off the bat, don't go by this rating. This is one of the few ratings that is actually way off of how good the movie actually is. This movie is not a 4.7. This is a very good movie. So if you want to see a cool Hunted by a Lion movie, I recommend seeing Prey. And this guy's an idiot for giving it a poor review. I won't go into detail about this movie, but I'll just say it's good and it's worth a watch, period. Don't go by... I know, like I just said, like, go by reviews and ratings, but not all the time. Like, it's obviously not going to be a 100% foolproof plan. But this movie, I don't think it ever went to theaters anyways, but... my whole philosophy on going by ratings and reviews before you see a movie is to save money from wasting your money at the terrible movie at the box office. So, let me add that one to my watch list, actually. Let's see if it's as good as Prey. We'll see. Here it is. Where's that other Beast movie? Weird. Okay. Moving on. They're making a Super Mario Brothers movie. I mean, they made a Sonic one, so why not, right? Let's keep making the SpiderMans. Why not? Wow, I guess the movies are really up in the air. Like, this is just next year, and it goes from... yeah, I guess a lot of movies are waiting for a release date, so... looks like it's good up until July of next year. You can see a bunch of movies already have a release date there. Oh, I was wrong. They're making another Halloween movie. Okay. Well, this one says end, so that should be the last one, right? The Flash. Okay, but they're not having the real Flash in that movie. Um, Everyone knows it should be the Flash from the TV series. But it's not, so I probably won't see that movie. Avatar 2, everybody. Put that one on your watch list. Thought I already had that one on my watch list, but apparently not, so I'm going to re-add it. Maybe because I was getting too annoyed by how long that movie was getting delayed, so I just gave up, but let me re-add it right there. Another Aquaman. Okay. Let's go on to 2023 and see what we got. Interesting, they're doing a Quiet Place spin-off. Okay. They're making a Wonka movie. It's either a reboot or a sequel. Probably a reboot. Mission Impossible 8. Turtles animation. Oh, okay. Here's your next Star Wars movie, everyone. Rogue Squadron. Yeah, what's up with this Barbie movie? That's been getting pushed back constantly. I don't know. A lot of these movies a couple of years from now are really up in the air. Like the release date can change on a dime. Like, as you can see, going to 2024, you only have a couple movies on here. Avatar 3, but... Alright, so there you have it. That's just a quick overview of upcoming movies. If you guys aren't aware of Movie Insider, that's where I go for my movies. Okay, so... And we're at an interesting time period now where a lot of movies are going to streaming now on HBO Max and Disney Plus, things like that. So I feel like the numbers for the box office will be changing because of that. But we'll see, it'll be interesting to see how we bounce back from the pandemic with the movies. So yeah, I feel like that's my general overview of movies. There's oversaturation now of movies. I feel like a lot of movies now are relying too much on CGI that has sacrificed the overall quality of the plot or storyline of that movie and acting. That's another thing that I've noticed in movies. The acting is very subpar now. It's very noticeable. Um, to see just a regular movie with great acting, it's now a rarity. Like you don't see that anymore. Um, it's with a lot. I mean, it's with a lot more now independent movies because the very most of the big box office draws now will be the CGI overloaded movies. This has been over the past 20 years, and I don't think this is going to stop until they run out of ideas or the public finally decides that it's not interested in those type of movies anymore. But I don't know. Like they continue to do very well, so I don't know if that trend is going to change anytime soon. So yeah, that's just my basic overview of the movie industry right now. I might do a separate movie of where my favorite movies are, so you'll be able to get an idea of what kind of movies I like. There aren't very many comic book or superhero movies in there, so I think I'll wrap this video up. My movie synopsis, and yeah, it's been a pleasure. Hope you guys enjoy.